Welcome students. In this video we are going to study about catalysis. Now it is found that the number of reactions rates are altered by the presence of certain foreign substances. Okay, they influence the rate of reaction. Berzelius first named these substances as catalyst. So, the catalysts are the substances which change the speed of the chemical reaction without itself undergoing any change in mass and composition and are recovered in the end of the reaction. And the phenomenon of catalyzing reaction is known as catalysis. Now, catalysis can be positive catalysis or negative catalysis. If the catalyst increases the rate of reaction, then it is positive catalysis. And if decreases the rate of reaction, that is it retards the chemical reaction, then it is a negative catalysis. A positive catalyst increases the rate by lowering down the activation energy of the reaction, whereas a negative catalyst increases the activation energy of the reaction. Okay. Now there are other substances also which influences the activity of catalyst. These substances may be promoters or poisons. Okay. Promoters enhances activity of catalyst. Okay. For example, molybdenum in Haber's process. In Haber's process, iron is the catalyst, and if we are taking molybdenum, it increases the activity of iron. Okay. Certain substances like arsenic and carbon monoxide, if present, lowers down the activity of catalyst. Thus, they will act as poison for the catalyst. Now, catalysis can be categorized into two types. The catalysis may be homogeneous catalysis or heterogeneous catalysis. If the catalyst present in the same phase as that of the reactant, that is, if the reactants are gas and catalysts are gas, then it is homogeneous catalyst, same phase. Reactants and catalysts are in the same phase. If the reactant is liquid and catalyst is also liquid, it is also homogeneous catalyst. Okay. Common examples you can see here. First one is the oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide in presence of nitric oxide as catalyst. Okay. This reaction is this reaction occurs in the manufacture of sulfuric acid. You will study this reaction in your later chapters. Okay. Next, decomposition of ozone in presence of nitric oxide or chlorine atoms as catalyst. This reaction you have studied in your previous class. Here also these are gases and the catalyst is also in the gas form. So, it is an example of homogeneous catalyst. Take another reaction. You have studied this reaction in pseudo first order reaction, where the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate in presence of H plus ion to acetic acid and ethyl alcohol. It is an also example of homogeneous catalysis. Now, the theory of the homogeneous catalysis is based on the intermediate compound formation. That is, according to this view, the catalyst enter into a chemical combination with one or more of the two reactant forming an intermediate. Okay, take this reaction. Here NO is the catalyst and O3, ozone, is the reactant. It in the first step it combines with ozone molecule. So, an intermediate NO2 is formed. Okay. And this intermediate either decomposes or combines with another reactant to produce the product. In this reaction, see, it again combines with the reactant, and in the product it is regenerated thereafter. So the involvement of the catalyst in the reaction lowers the free energy of the activation and hence accelerates or speed up the reaction. Okay, this is the mechanism of action of this type of catalyst. Now next type is the heterogeneous catalysis. Heterogeneous catalyst means if the catalyst is present in different phase than that of the reactant. Okay, this type is known as heterogeneous. See the reaction here, N2 and H2 are gases, whereas the reaction is catalyzed by solid iron. So it is a type of heterogeneous catalysis. So the catalyst in the heterogeneous catalyst are generally solid and the reactants are mostly gases or sometimes liquid also. Now in heterogeneous catalyst, the reactions start at the surface of the solid catalyst. So they are also known as surface catalysis. So this type is also known as surface catalysis. Okay. The theory is, these are the examples. This is the reaction involved in the Haber's process in the manufacture of ammonia, and this is a polymerization reaction of formation of polythene from ethene, and the catalyst is titanium tetrachloride and trialkyl aluminum. The combination of this two compound forms a named catalyst known as Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Okay, this reaction and about the catalyst action you will study in the chapter polymers. Okay. Now the theory of heterogeneous catalysis is based on adsorption theory as well as intermediate complex theory. Okay, intermediate complex formation based on both the theory is based on both of these theories. According to it, there suppose it is a catalyst surface and the reactants are gases. This is a solid catalyst and reactants are gases. The catalyst have the free vacancies. Now there is a diffusion of the reactant molecule towards the surface of the catalyst. Okay. After diffusion, adsorption of the reactants occurs on the surface of the catalyst, forming loose bonds. The dotted lines shows the loose bond. Thereafter, occurrence of a chemical reaction at the surface occurs, which leads to formation of intermediate. Okay, this is the intermediate. After that, since the intermediate is not so stable, desorption occurs, that is the bond breaks and it will form the product AB, here AB, and the catalyst is recovered or regenerated after the reaction. Okay, so there are some features of these solid catalysts. Let us see. First one is activity. By activity of the catalyst, we mean its capacity to increase the speed of the chemical reaction. Okay, how it increases the speed. Selectivity. Selectivity means its ability to direct the reaction to form a particular product. Only the particular product, excluding the other possible pathways, it is specific for a certain product. Okay. Next is the specificity of the catalyst. That means it is selective in nature, that is a given substance can act as catalyst only in a particular reaction and not for all the reaction. Okay, it means a substance which acts as catalyst in one reaction may fail to catalyze in other reactions. Okay. Now since you have now a basic idea about the catalysis, I have a question for you. That is, during the combustion of fuels in automobiles, toxic or pollutant gases are evolved in exhaust gases. Okay, they are carbon monoxide, nitric oxide. So what is done to reduce the pollution by carbon monoxide or nitric oxide in the automobile exhaust system? Okay, let me know the answer by writing in the comment box below. Okay. The next is zeolites, which are also used as catalyst. You have studied about zeolites in your previous class, where it is used as ion exchangers in softening hard water. Okay. Here zeolites are also used as catalyst. So let us study the zeolites. What are zeolites? Zeolites are the aluminosilicates with general formula MX/N, aluminum oxide, X SiO2, Y dot Z H2O, where N is the charge on the metal ion. Metal ion can be sodium, potassium, calcium, etc. Okay, this X is the number of aluminum oxide present in the zeolite. Okay, and Z is the water of hydration. Now the zeolites are microporous three-dimensional network of silicates. They are the 3D structures and are microporous in nature, in which some silicon ions are replaced by these aluminum ions, giving AlOSi network or this framework. Okay, they have a honeycomb-like structure. They are found in nature as well as can be synthesized in laboratory. Okay, they form oxide catalysis. Now, zeolites to be used as catalyst are first heated in vacuum so that all the waters of hydration are removed. As a result, zeolite becomes porous because the cavities in the cage-like structure which are occupied by the water molecules become vacant. Okay. The size of the pores generally varies from 260 picometer to 740 picometer, and thus only those molecules can be absorbed in these pores whose size are small enough to enter these cavities and also leave easily. It will not absorb those molecules which are too big to enter. Thus, zeolites acts as a molecular sieves. For example, the zeolite sodium aluminum silicate can absorb straight chain hydrocarbons and not branched chain or aromatic ones. So, the reaction taking place in zeolites depends upon the size and shape of the reactant and the product molecules as well. Okay, as compared to those of pores and cavities of the zeolite. Because of these, zeolites are known as shape selective catalyst. Understood? These are used in petrochemical industry. The zeolite as catalyst are used in petrochemical industry for cracking of hydrocarbons. Right? Now let's see the enzyme which are also acting as catalyst in our biological system. All biological reactions are catalyzed by special catalysts which are known as enzymes. So they are chemically they are known as biocatalysts. Okay. Chemically they are globular proteins in nature. Okay, having high molecular masses and can form colloidal solution in water. Now every biological reaction requires a different kind of enzyme, and there are large number of such biological reactions, therefore large number of enzymes functioning in a living system. Okay, now a typical cell, you will be surprised to know that in a typical cell there are about 3000 different kind of enzyme, and each catalyzing a different reaction. Okay, these enzymes are produced in plants and animals, and you can obtain them in a pure state from them. Most of them can be recovered in pure crystalline form from the living cell. Okay, so the enzymes are very vital for biological processes, and without them the life processes will become very slow and sluggish. One common example is that if the reactions, these biological reactions are not catalyzed by this enzyme, a single meal will take about 50 years to digest. Okay, so there are few enzyme which catalyze different reactions are, as for example, to convert sucrose to glucose and fructose, there is invertase enzyme. So inversion of sucrose is catalyzed by invertase. Conversion of glucose to ethyl alcohol is catalyzed by zymase. Conversion of starch to maltose is catalyzed by diastase, and conversion of maltose to glucose, maltase. Urea to ammonia and CO2, enzyme is urease. Proteins to peptides in stomach, it catalyzed by pepsin enzyme, whereas proteins to amino acids in intestine is catalyzed by trypsin enzyme. One common example is conversion of milk to curd. It is catalyzed by lactic bacilli. It is a bacteria which secretes the enzyme. Okay. Now let us see what are the characteristics of enzyme. Enzymes are highly specific in nature. That is, each enzyme catalyzes only one reaction. Okay, the efficiency of the enzymes are very high. That is, they are very efficient catalysts. They can speed up the rate of reaction by the factor of about 10 to the power 20. Okay, they are required in very small quantity. A very small quantity of enzyme can catalyze large number of molecules. Okay, they work at optimum temperature and pH. If the temperature is not moderate, that is not 37 degrees centigrade, that is our body temperature, the enzyme will get denatured. Since they are protein in nature, it will get denatured, and the 3D structure, denaturing means the breaking of the 3D structure, and that in that form they are not able to catalyze a reaction. There are enzyme activators known as coenzyme which enhances their activity. These are generally metal ions. Activators are generally metal ion like sodium ion, magnesium ion, copper ion, cobalt ion, etc. Okay. There are also enzyme inhibitors also which act as poison for them. Okay. The inhibitors generally get adsorbed or get bind to their active sites, so that the reaction, the catalyst is not, so that the enzyme is not able to catalyze the reaction. Mainly the enzyme work in a lock and key model. Okay, there is a mechanism of enzyme action can be explained by lock and key model. Briefly I am explaining it here. Suppose this is an enzyme with active site. There is the surface of the enzyme. The substrate which can fit into it is only can bind to it. Okay, this substrate which has the structure which can be fitted into the surface of the enzyme can only bind to it. After binding, it will form an enzyme substrate complex. It is an association which further, after binding, the reaction is catalyzed on the surface of the enzyme. Suppose it is a decomposition reaction or breaking of the molecule, then it will break here and the association will remain for some time. It is unstable and finally it is desorbed or it leaves the enzyme surface and the products are removed and enzymes are recovered. Okay. So lot more you studied about enzymes and inorganic catalyst. So what you have to do now? You have to write the difference between the enzymes and inorganic catalyst. And let me know how many points of differences you can form. That's all for today. Thank you.